examine of research methods as a discipline. We've also learned about the different types of research, the different types of research designs under each approach, a philosophy that supports each approach. We looked at how to write general and specific objectives, and you were tasked with going home to come up with a research topic within your field of specialization. Today, we are going to look at the requirements for writing what will become the chapter 1 for your thesis. Normally, you will be asked to bring a research proposal, and the research proposal is supposed to have some very specific elements, which we are going to learn today. The proposal, after it has been approved by the university or your supervisor, will become your chapter 1. So that is why the title of the course of the slide is Writing Chapter 1. So this is a 2-in-1, meaning that the information we are going to learn today is relevant for writing a proposal and eventually to become the chapter 1 of the thesis. So the first thing we want to see is the background of the study. Now, the background of the study should give the reader the situation that is giving rise to the problem to which your research is going to offer or prefer insights or solutions. Insights and solutions. And in the background, you need to ensure that the reader becomes interested in the topic. And you must also establish the problem that is causing you to want to study this specific topic. So in your aim to make sure that the reader is interested, and also to prove that there's an actual problem that requires investigation scientifically before we can understand, you need to draw on what is happening in both the literature and the study area. So for example, if you say that there's a problem within human resource in Ghana for small businesses, and that problem is very big, well, how will you prove that the problem is very big? You need, for example, to illustrate that, okay, maybe we have the data somewhere in a government repository or in the ministries that tell us that 50% of all SMEs or MSMEs collapse within the first 5 years. 50% of all MSMEs from the year maybe 2020 up to the year 2026, so they all collapse between year 1 and year 5, meaning that they are not surviving past their 5th birthday. And the problem seems to come from human resource challenges. And so this is a big problem. This is a problem for which we have data. I mean that the problem is coming out of some data that exists. And also proving that this problem is a problem of concern. You look for what the government is saying about this specific issue. This is the only point in your research work where you can make reference to newspaper articles or newspaper items, as well as discussions that have been going on TV, on the radio, on social media, all to illustrate the fact that this problem is so big that the government is concerned, and the government has said this. Newspapers have picked up on it. There's been a lot of reportage. There's a lot of discussion going on social media. City FM, Peace FM, on this date and that date, they've all discussed it. And so this is showing that, yes, there's indeed a problem that is of national concern. That must be there. When you do that, then we all will be convinced that truly there is a problem. And this particular problem, we don't have a clear answer or solution yet. That is why everybody seems to be talking about it. And then you go to the literature. So now that you've established that this problem is widespread, there's a lot of government, non-governmental organizations, civil society, and whoever is interested, whichever stakeholders are making a lot of noise, it is in the public domain. Now you come to what has been written about the subject. So later on in this chapter or this proposal, you work on the problem statement where you do this in depth. But over here in the background, you want to highlight what the literature is saying on the global perspective as well as within the context in which you are working. So is it that what we are finding in Ghana is a reflection of what is happening on the larger African continent where micro, medium, small scale enterprises, they are all collapsing within the first 5 years, or Ghana's case seems to be an exception from the literature. So when we say from the literature, if you, for example, go to Google Scholar and you look at maybe 15 to 20 articles on MSMEs and their survival rates in connection to human resource challenges. Is it the same story? Is it similar? Is it different? You have to share that in brief in the background. And then you need to know the audience. So this is your study. Which angle are you looking at it from? If you are an HRM student, we expect that you are looking at it from a human resource perspective. But if you are a procurement student or a finance student, and that is the angle with which, or the lens with which you are looking at it, then you must make that clear and speak the language of the audience. Evidence is important. Like I have established at the beginning, you can get evidence from the journal articles, from the newspapers, etc. And then you must prove that it's an existing trend. I've already spoken about it earlier. Now, the other major part or major ingredient required in the background of the study is for you to ensure that you operationalize your concepts and terms. What does this mean? This means that given that the same word might have different meanings depending on who is using it and within which context, you need to define clearly what all the major words in your topic mean. So for example, a finance person will look at this problem using different terms. You have to define those terms. A procurement person will use language from their discipline. A human resource person will use language that experts in human resource can understand. So you need to define all the major terms and concepts. A rule of thumb is that you define all the major words in your title. So the title of the project, you need to let us know that in this work, when you use the word MSMEs, you are referring to organizations or businesses that are privately owned with a minimum number of 2 employees and a maximum number of 30 employees. That means that if a company has 40 employees, per your definition, they don't qualify to be considered as MSMEs. So the definitions must be clear within the context of the work in which you are doing. So that is operationalization. So this is, in a nutshell, what the background requires. It requires that you create interest, establish the problem, situate the study within the larger literature, provide evidence to the existence of the problem, provide evidence that is an existing trend or a topical issue with, a lot of media attention, and also operationalization of all terms in the area. Now, in terms of structure, the background should not be more than 3 pages at your level. It should not be more than 3 pages, and it should not be less than 2, so between 2 and 3 pages. You should use the most current findings and have citations. So for each paragraph, we want to see at least 2 to 3 citations. Examples of in-text citations are shown on the slide. For example, Kuma 2019, Presswell 2002. That is what we mean by citations. We don't want just descriptions, but we want a critical look at the issue. So tell us, what are the unresolved issues within the topic? What social concerns, what national or international concerns have come up in relation to your specific topic? And ultimately, what is the gap in our knowledge? What don't we know for which research is required, for which you have decided to undertake your specific study? The gap in the knowledge should lead us seamlessly into the next section called the problem statement or the statement of the problem, which is the next section after the background. So you must structure the background of the study in such a way that by the time we finish reading the background, we should be ushered into what the gaps are. The gaps are very important. How will you find what the gaps are? It is only if you read the empirical literature. So you must read what has been written about the topic over the last 5 years. Look at what they have done and what they haven't done. What they haven't done, but is something that we feel is required, is what will constitute the gap. Now, when we talk about gaps in research, they can be conceptual gaps, meaning that there are gaps coming from how something is defined. Conceptual gaps are, let me give an example. The definition of work. Before COVID-19, the definition of work was mostly around the fact that, or even how work looks like. You wake up in the morning, you move from your house to a certain position if you are not working from. If you are not a business owner, you go, you sit in your car, you sit in some trotro or taxi. You go to a different location and then you work. You stay there till 9 a.m., 5 o'clock, and then you come back. But COVID has given us different definitions of work, where people can sit in their homes and get things done so far as they are networked on their computers. So this is a new definition of work. This definition of work wasn't common before COVID, but now it has become very common. Hybrid, remote working, all these are acceptable forms of work, but it didn't used to be like that. So when we say conceptual gap, before or even during COVID, you could make the assertion that what we define as work has to change, and that whilst traditionally work is a 9 to 5, where you move from home to a specific site, we no longer accept that definition. And so we want to do a study on new definitions of work. That is a conceptual gap. That is an example of a conceptual gap. We have gaps that come from methodology. Methodology centers around the 3 approaches you were taught last week. And so maybe still using this example of work, If you look in the literature, maybe people have predominantly used qualitative approaches to study what it means to have a job. And so let's say out of 3,000 articles on Google Scholar, 2,500 of them all used quantitative approaches. And then the minority used qualitative approaches. And so you could raise a question that, aren't we missing something from the definition or from our understanding because we have only looked at scale? Because when you use quantity, it means you are really thinking about how widespread, how many, the scale. So we only understand what it is, but we don't understand why. And we don't have a lot of qualitative studies to help us understand the why. And so there is a methodological gap in terms of the tools that have been used in a particular discipline. So that becomes a methodological gap that your study can try and fill. Normally, most students like to use geographic gaps, which are weak gaps. A geographic gap will sound like in the US, they have studied this, they haven't studied this in Ghana, so I'll come to study it in Ghana. That is a geographical gap, and that is a very weak gap. You want to have stronger gaps based on conflict within a discipline, disagreements, concern, controversies, conceptual misunderstandings, methodological gaps, etc. Not only the study has been done in Europe, it hasn't been done in Africa, so you have come to do it in Africa to see what you find. So the statement of the problem must come from literature. If you don't read the literature on this topic, you will not be able to write the statement of the problem convincingly. Now, the statement of the problem also has two main aspects in terms of its structure. We want to see the empirical side of things, meaning that what has been written in the literature by experts. Where will you get literature? Google Scholar is one place. There are other repositories where, there are articles. We want to find out what has been done and what is left, what we don't know, what the areas of disagreement are. And mind you, we are trying to add to knowledge. We are not just trying to find a solution to one problem. We are trying to generate new knowledge. If you think back to the definition of what research is, apply it in this context. So we have the empirical section, which comes from what is known in the literature, what has been done, what has not been done. That is one side of it. The other side of it is about the specific study area that you say you're going to do your work. So if you are doing your study using GCTU as a case, what is the issue at GCTU for which this study is warranted? That is a question you should ask yourself. What is the problem at this place if you're going to do your study at Ghana Port? What is the problem at Ghana Port? For which reason this study is needed? This means that you cannot just choose any topic, choose any case study, just because it is accessible to you, just because you like it. No. The rule is that where you say you're going to do the study, there must be a cause. There must be an issue. The problem must be visible there to justify why you want to go and do a study over there. So that is that from the statement of the problem. It must be literature rich, meaning that there must be evidence that you've read for your level at least. You should have read at least the bare minimum 20 articles on the topical area so that you can speak the language and clearly indicate what the problem is, for which reason a study is required. References. Like I said about background, you need to cite the most relevant references in the text. So we want in-text citations. And then the practical aspects of the problem. This is what I was just saying. Your study area. What is the practical issue, the practical problem there, for which your study is warranted? So the problem statement must have all the gaps that your study will address. The gap is the entire reason for the study. And like I said, there are different types of gaps. There could be gaps coming out from the definitions of the words, that's the conceptual gap. It can come from a methodological gap. It can be a gap. Yes.
You said in stating the making your statement, stating the problem, where you talk about geographic, let's say it, a research has been done, let's say in the US, and it has not been done here, and so you want to do it here. Did I hear you say is weak?
It's the weakest of all the gaps.
Oh, okay.
You don't do a study because it's been done in US and hasn't been done in Ghana. And so what? The US
Maybe
is the
outcomes,
US.
outcomes might be
Madam,
different.
no. Please. I said at the beginning that you might have some preconceived notions about what research is. But you are doing masters now. And so maybe at undergrad, we'll let it slide. But that is not a strong justification or a strong gap. The weakest of all the gaps is a geographic gap. Why? Because we are different geographically. So why would you expect the same findings? The US is different. Our context is different. So look for gaps that actually address actual problems for which will give us benefit, not because they have done it there. And so they haven't done it here, so we are coming to do it to find. By all means, it will be different. Our institutions are different. Our context, everything is different culturally. So, that is a no-brainer. We want studies that will benefit us, benefit our continent. And so do studies that will give us answers and solutions that will help us. And forget about the West. They are thinking about themselves. Have you seen people in the US come to say that their gap is that the study has not been done in Africa, so they are come to do it in the US? Go and check. If you find any study like that, very few, almost zero. So the strong gaps that will bring solutions to our continent, and that also shows that we are actually reading and understanding and doing something worthwhile, is the gaps based on concepts, gaps based on methodology. This is where the new knowledge will come from. New knowledge, the definition of research that I have taught you. Go and check. New knowledge. You cannot find new knowledge if you are only looking at geographic gaps. New knowledge does not come from mere geographic gaps. So please, I know that's what you know. That's what I also knew till I learned. So as we learn, we do better. So geographic gaps are the weakest of all of the gaps. Yes, Mr. Sil.
Hello, Doc. Please, I want to get more understanding on this. I want to give a scenario. I'm assuming there is an in China currently electric cars are common, And me being in Ghana, I want to find out why we are not using electric cars, looking at how technology is going on. Is it a weak research?
What are the gaps? So have you checked the literature on EV cars usage?
Mhm.
You can spend I can give you 10 minutes. Just Google EV cars on Google Scholar, EV cars usage in developing countries. And then let us know what you find.
Okay.
If you are working on a laptop, you can share your screen so your colleagues can see what you are doing.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm finding some difficulties, but I'll work on it and get back to you.
What's the difficulty are you finding?
I'm now connecting it to my laptop. I was using my phone.
Okay. Now, even without doing any research, EV cars are not popular here as much as it is in China because China is a hub of innovation around the world currently. They have the technology, they have the patents, and they have the infrastructure. How many charging stations are in Accra, which is the most urbanized city in Accra? There are a few. But if you compare it per square kilometers to China, you will not find the same number of charging stations. So if I brought an EV car in Ghana in 2023, when it had already taken over the market in China, why would I charge my car? Do you understand the question I'm posing?
Yes, Doc.
Yes, Mama.
So you can clearly see that it's a matter of infrastructure. Now, if you want to understand behavioral intentions to use, which has theoretical backing, that if we had all the infrastructure, would you buy an EV car or would you not buy an EV car? Then you are talking about a conceptual issue coming from theory, looking at a theoretical gap. So it is not about a geographic gap that is in China and not in Ghana. That is weak. You're looking at behavioral intentions. You can use a theory of planned behavior as a lens, or you can use a theory of reasoned action, TRA, as a lens to see whether if all the conditions were here, we will have the same acceptance. You could even use technology acceptance model, TAM, to look at the issue. This is what I mean by we are looking at conceptual, theoretical, and methodological gaps. Please, do you understand? Please, do you
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
understand?
Madam. Yes,
Yes.
Doc.
Does it make sense?
Yes, it does.
Yes, Doc.
Yes,
Yes.
Doc.
Yes, Doc.
So this is what we mean. We just don't want to say it is done here and it's not done here. No, think about the issue more. Look at it well. And then you see, this sometimes I don't want to say the word common sense, but a lot of the things, common sense will tell us that, oh, wait, dear, this is likely the problem. So what is the issue behind the problem? You see, some in-depth thinking is required. This is why you must read the literature. If you read the literature, you are conversant with, for example, what theories have been used to understand different issues. And based on the theory, do you think that, oh, this theory doesn't make sense in our context? That makes it what? A theoretical gap and not a geographic gap. Right? Because theories are created from different contexts. But will the theory work in every context? There are some theories, for them to work for our context, we need to modify them. We need to remove some of the antecedents. We need to add certain things. This is contribution to knowledge. Research is supposed to contribute to knowledge. Please, are we okay? So the
Yes,
gap,
Doc.
Yes.
it's
Yes,
the
Doc.
fulcrum or the pivot for the entire study. So if your problem statement or statement of the problem is weak, your work is weak and you will score very low. If you don't get the problem, the statement of the problem correct from the beginning, you set yourself up for a big fail. So I will send this material to your class reps to share with you. We've already talked about objectives, so I will not belabor the point. Now, these words that you see, they are not to be used to write your objectives. I've shown you 5 words you can use to write your objectives. These words are not part. I repeat, these words that you see on the slide right now, do not use them to write your objectives. Please, are we okay? Whether main objective or
Please.
specific objectives.
Yes, please.
Now, let's imagine that based on the literature, you found that most of the studies in your area of interest, they are quantitative in nature. They've used quantitative research approach. And so you decide that, well, as a justification for your own choices, since most of the studies that look at MSMEs and their survival rates all use quantitative, you will also use quantitative. Well, if you note the word I used, I said justification. In research, whatever decision you make, especially in methodology, must be justified. You must tell us why you are making that decision, and the justification almost always comes from the empirical literature. So being abreast of the literature is always important. So let's say that you are doing quanti. If you are doing a quantitative study, you are required to have hypothesis. Quantitative research requires hypothesis statements. Now, the hypothesis is a tentative, testable statement that can be proven true or false using statistical measures. So the hypothesis that you will develop, which will be developed based on your research objectives, you must write them in a way that they can be falsified, proven to be true or false. The hypothesis statement is written in a 2-in-1 format, meaning that we have the HO, which we call the null hypothesis, and the H1, which is the alternative hypothesis. So let me give you a few examples. So you can see HO, H subscript O, and then H subscript 1. So let's say that you want to do a study that is looking at the relationship between eating late and obesity, getting fat. And then you, based on your objective 1 says that you want to explore or examine the relationship between eating past 9 p.m. and growing fat. That is your specific objective 1. So your hypothesis for that specific objective must be written as follows. HO, which is the now. There is, you could say no or there is. So let's say in this case, we are saying there is no. So there is no significant relationship between late eating and obesity. The H1, which is the alternative, must be the opposite of the HO. So you write H1, there is a significant relationship between eating late and becoming obese. So as you can determine or as you can observe, the research objective will give birth to the hypothesis statement. The hypothesis statement is written in a 2-in-1 format. You have the now and the alternate. The now, the alternative hypothesis is the opposite of the now hypothesis. Let's see if there's another example. So let's say that you want to look at the relationship between, let's use this old example. We want to look at the relationship between students' use of AI and the outcomes. Let's see objective 3, the effects of AI on student engagement. Let's say that this objective is what you want to work on. That means that your HO can sound like this. There is a relationship between generative AI and student engagement. The alternate, there is no relationship between generative AI and student engagement. So whatever objective you have in a quantitative study, you will work on your hypothesis statements for each specific objective. And we write the hypothesis statement as a 2-in-1 statement, HO, H1. One is the opposite of the other. Any questions on hypothesis? So we can all write hypothesis statements for a quantitative study. Now, if you are not doing a quantitative study and you are doing a qualitative study, for qualitative study, we want to see research questions and or propositions. At your level, just have research questions. Now, your research questions must mirror your research objectives, the specific objectives that you have written. The only difference between the research question and the research objective is that for research questions, we use the words what, why, how to start the questions, their questions. So for example, if this study was a pure qualitative study, we could write our research questions as follows. Research question 1, based on a specific objective 1. It will say, what are the current applications of Gen AI in higher education? across teaching, learning, and admin domains. 2, what are the opportunities that Gen AI presents for students, educators, and administrators? 3, what are the effects of Gen AI on student engagement? 4, how do attitudes and perceptions of educators towards AI, how do student attitudes and perceptions differ in terms of perceptions of AI in academic settings? Why do educators have a problem with students' use of Gen AI in academic settings? So, like I said, your research questions for a qualitative study, purely qualitative study, must mirror your specific objectives. That means that you cannot have, for example, 3 specific objectives and 2 research questions. You must have the same 3 each. And the language, you are just transforming the specific objective into a question form using the words what, how, and why. Do we get the distinguishing features between quantitative studies and qualitative studies in terms of research questions and hypotheses?
Yes, Doc.
Sorry?
Yes, Doc.
Yes, Mr. Appiah.
Doc, with each of the objectives, I'm getting a bit confused. Am I going to apply with each of the objectives the what, why, and how with the qualitative?
No.
Or okay.
So 1 to 1.
Okay.
I use different language because we don't want to see research questions all saying what. There should be variation. So some of them should be starting with what, some should be starting with why, some should be starting with how. The what questions are like first level. What exists? What are the factors? What are the challenges? But why questions are strong because we argue that in qualitative research, our whole reason for using qualitative approach is to get an in-depth understanding of what is happening. So why questions are rated to be strong questions, same as how questions. So that is why, if you realized, even when I had the second what question, I went on to why and how questions. We want to see those.
Okay, so if I understand, it means that is there the same number of objectives, but we are applying what, why, and how to each of them, depending on how it will fit. Okay, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so the next section of your chapter 1 should be the significance of the study. Now, in this section, you are writing 1 or 2 paragraphs to explain why it is important to have an answer to the gap that we have illustrated. So the research gap that you have talked about in your statement of the problem, which has led you to your objectives and has led you to your hypothesis or research questions. Why is it important for us to have the answer? How will that improve our human condition as human beings in Ghana, in Africa, the rest of the world? What contribution to knowledge will we generate? And who in society will be able to use the knowledge to make better decisions? So it's like in the significance, you are letting us know, okay, this study, if we do it, for example, the EV cars, if we are able to do the study to understand the behavioral intentions to switch from fossil fuel cars to electronic vehicles, That answer will help the government, it will help climate scientists, it will help car businessmen, people who deal with cars. So do you see who will be getting information and what kind of information will they get? That is what you need to demonstrate. That is the significance of the study. And of course, it must be related to your area of specialization. So to the body of human resource knowledge, what new knowledge will your data give us? Now the next section, 1.5, is the scope of the study. Now the scope is the extent of the study, like how far you are willing to go and the measurements you are going to use. So for example, if we are looking at EV cars, there are different types of EV cars. We have some that use battery. I think there are some that, I know there are different categories, even in terms of the battery, etc., and the charging and all that. So if you're meant to look at the entire market of EV cars, that might be a bit too much for you. So maybe you decide that you're looking at a certain aspect of it, not all EV cars. You can decide that, okay, you are looking at EV cars within a specific budget range, because that is the budget range that most Ghanaians might fall into. And so even though you mention EV cars, you're not talking about the very high-end ones that are luxury. You're looking at the ones maybe between $1,000 and $4,000 that the ordinary working Ghanaian can afford. The scope can also be geographical. So your study is limited to GCTU and staff at GCTU and no other place. Or GCTU Abeka campus, Tesano campus is not part. These are the details we need, the limitations of your work, where it will be constrained to. And then the limitations are not, you didn't have time or you didn't have money. Those are not limitations of a study. The limitations of a study are the things that you don't have any control over, but that can cause a problem or create weakness for your study. I repeat, I didn't have time. The semester was short. I didn't have money to do all the subjects. No, these are not limitations. When we talk of limitations, we are looking at, yes, what have you not said?
Yes, look, I want to ask this question. It's concerning the example that you gave of the geographical part of achieving the made example using the GCT. I want to ask, is it because of maybe because you'll be doing a sample size or doing some questionnaires? That is why you pick a smaller, or I won't say a smaller, relatively a smaller place with low population, or is it because the geographical gaps can affect the topic or the concepts that you are trying to build?
In research, we want to be able to generalize our findings, especially if it's a quantitative study. We cannot, however, generalize to a population that was not represented in our sample. So when you talk about your delimitations or your scope, you want us to know which people our findings apply to. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Do you understand?
Yes.
So if I'm doing my study and I did my study at GCTU Abeka campus, my findings do not apply to GCTU Tesano campus. It only applies to Abeka because that is where I did my study.
Sure.
Okay. So limitations, they are factors you don't have control, but these factors can make your results or conclusions invalid. So you need to tell us what those potential problems are going to be and what mechanisms you intend to put in place so that they don't affect the validity of your findings. So for example, small samples could be a problem that you envision. Maybe the topic is very sensitive. You are looking at sugar babies. Sugar babies meaning those slave queens who are relying on older men as their source of income. It's a very sensitive topic. So you envision that a lot of people will not want to talk to you. So small sample could be a problem. Now that you've identified that as a potential problem, what is a potential solution? You have to let us know. Researcher bias, especially if you are doing a qualitative interview. Again, people will tell you what you want to hear and what they're actually doing. So if you are using interviews, there is a possibility of social desirability bias from the perspective of the participants who want to sound and look socially pleasing to the researcher. And so you might note that as a potential problem. And maybe you have decided that you will do phone interviews because when you do the interview in person, when they see you, they might be more likely to lie and misrepresent themselves. So this is what we mean by limitations of a study. Does it make sense? Does it make sense what limitations are supposed to be?
Yes, yes, Doc.
Yes.
Yes, please.
The last section of the chapter 1 or your proposal should be the organization. It should not be more than half a page. It should tell us how you are going to organize your chapters. So chapter 1 of the study gives the background. Chapter 2 is an overview of related literature. Chapter 3 documents the intended methodology. Chapter 4 will be the results. Chapter 5, conclusion, summary, recommendations. Finish. Half a page, done. So your research proposal, which is now becomes your chapter 1. I've taught you everything that is required. Now, when you have finished the entire work from chapter 1 to chapter 5, before you submit your work, you're expected to have an abstract. The abstract is the last part of the thesis because you are writing it it's like an executive summary. So when you are about to hand in the work, you have to write in a block form, 1 page. 1 page, no paragraphs, no references, no acronyms. And it follows the order of your background, 1 line to tell us background, 1 line that tells us the problem you sought and the gaps, 1 line to tell us the methodology used, 1 line to tell us the main or major findings, 1 line on recommendations. That is it for the abstracts. So I'm sending the slides to your classroom. I'm putting it in the chat box. So now the next thing that we are going to do is that based on your topics, you are going to do offline activity for the next 30 minutes. Your class reps have compiled the topics. Now you are going to go into your groups. So I'm going to create breakout sessions. And I'll be joining the breakout sessions, going from group to group. Look at your topics and see areas where you are aligned. Based on areas where you are similar, your topics are similar, you will group yourself. I don't want more than 7 people in 1 group. So the maximum number of people in 1 group Maximum should be 7. I don't want more than 7 people in one group. Give me a minute. Let me. Do I have the controls to put people in groups? Okay. So I'm going to create. I'm going to create maybe 11 groups. I don't know how many people. I'm going to make 15 groups. I'm going to create 15 breakout groups. You yourselves, based on your topics that you have chosen, divide yourself, like I said. Don't go and form a group with somebody because they are your friend and then your topics are different, because I have a list of all the topics. Please, we understand the instruction.
Yes, madam. Yes, Doc.
But please, for now, we don't know how each of us what our topics are. So I don't know how
class
we'll
rep has them. So the class reps share the link to the topics to everybody. So the rooms have been created. Class reps, share the links you sent me to everybody, so everybody will see everybody's group, everybody's topic. And then you can go into the different groups. I'll be coming around to the groups.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
Yes, Alice.
How is the group being created?
I don't know. I don't know whether.
They say, is it a child naive or it's mixed? I don't understand the system.
No, there was a this thing for us to join breakout room. So right now, I don't know whether I'm in the breakout room or I'm in the main this thing. Please, is there any other person who could hear us too?
We are in the main. We are in the main group.
Yeah, in the main group.
Please.
Patricia.
Yes, there.
Patricia, go to more. You see breakup rooms there. Probably you might click on it. You might be allowed to join some group or something. So go to more, the more action down there. Beside the share screen, there is
So can you join any room?
So
How
we join the group ourselves.
how can we
She
join a
says
group without knowing the topic?
Exactly.
she says the
That is
topics
the
have been
question.
shared to the various class reps.
No, she only shared the slides.
No, she
There was
says
a
the
slide
topic
that
has
was
been
shared.
given. No, she says the topics has been given to the various course reps.
No, no, no,
Somebody
no,
asked.
No. She has only
it's
sent
the
me the
assignment.
slides.
The
a link
assignment that we
has
did.
been sent. So when you
We
click on the link,
have
you
five rooms. We have five rooms in the breakout.
Because
So
now
are we supposed to join the room by ourselves?
I can see like 14 rooms. Can we join?
Hello, colleagues.
Papa Sam. Yes,
We
sir.
have about
Papa Sam,
15.
are we supposed to join the rooms by ourselves, or you are supposed to bring us to the room?
Any of
I
them?
don't have the list, so she just sent me
Hello,
the
We have
colleagues.
slides,
five
not
rooms.
the
We have
topics.
five rooms
Oh,
today.
hello, Papa Sam.
Let's be patient. Hello,
So
colleagues.
Frank,
We
I'm
have about
confused here.
15 rooms. Hello.
so when you check the top where the speaker, you see some 4 dots. It said join breakout. When you
Hello,
click,
Yeah,
colleagues.
I've seen like
My
14
question
or
is,
15.
how will you know the topic that you are going to join? How will you know?
So we should join there.
We have about 15 rooms here.
Join there.
So if you want to join, you just go to where the 4 dots are. But the next question is, which of the topics are we supposed to join? So it's better we wait for the course rep.
I've seen the 15 rooms.
Topic.
Can you join any of them? Hello.
Please, will you allow me to?
We are seeing only
Alice.
5 rooms. We are seeing only 5 rooms here.
Alice, please come
No, we are
to
seeing
our
15.
WhatsApp group. We need
I
you
am
there
seeing
right
only
now.
5 rooms here. Okay, we
Alice
are
and
15
How
Patricia,
rooms.
will you
please
know
come to
which
our
room are you
WhatsApp
going
group,
to join?
please. HR,
Hello,
please.
who is the course rep, please?
Please, I think, hello, please, this Armstrong. This Armstrong. Armstrong speaking. I think
All
we
right.
should hold on for the class reps. The class reps to group us so that we know which of the rooms we are belonging to. Either than that, it's going to be a little distracting. So kindly let's have patience and wait for. It's not the first time. For those of us who are continuing with the program, we are aware of how these things are done. So please kindly hold on and let's wait for him to have the groups created and then we'll join.
Or we can join any group at all. Is that it?
No, we've been asked to
No,
wait.
no, you
Let
can't.
us wait and get the topic.
You can't join any group. You don't know the group you belong to. So wait. Yes, wait. When that is done, you know which of the groups join.
Class. Class.
Call Pastor Peter. Peter Alban. As it let you go. Could you father say he didn't come the other day for the meeting? Hmm? Peter, just have Peter. Okay. Oh no, but that's the NSC. Can you please send for info? Have they not opened their account? And then you talk for info, please. But why is he not in class? If you are fasting, are you going to class to carry stone or to go and do work? That's okay. Thank you. It's not in class. The police are in class. Having class. That is not in class.
The number is reducing. Doesn't mean I just are joining.
I want to suspect so.
But what is this now? Eh?
No, it's like the rooms is being created. So I think they'll send an invite, then you join. I think so. Just go to the more, you see the division is over there. And then you see the rooms will be listed. So I think an invitation will be sent to you.
But the rooms has no name. So how do you know where to join?
No, they've named the room is room 1 to up to 15. So I think the dog she's the one doing it. I think so. That's what I'm seeing here. So when they put you in the group in the room, then you join.
Please, is Doc the one giving us the groups?
I think so. That's what I'm seeing. That's my subject. That's what I'm seeing.
Oh, I think you have to add yourself. Oh.
So I think when you are put in a room, then you join. So if you go to more, just go to more, and then you see that 4 doors, say join the breakup room. So then that's why you see the rooms over there. So the name is being put in the rooms. So I think when you are put in the room, then you also join.
How do you know which room you are?
Exactly.
That is what I'm saying. I think you will see it there. If you go to the room, you see there. You see the names are being put over there. Then you just join.
No,
We have
then
room
I
1
see
to
room
15.
1.
Maybe you see room 1. Then just scroll up. You see up to room 15. So I think you'll be put in a room. Then you join.
I see those rooms, and then I see join, but I
So
don't
you see that the names are there. So you see somebody, let's say room 7 like this. Some have not joined because your name will put in the room. I think so. Then you join the room. I think Dog is the one doing it.
The one I'm seeing in room 7, about 8 people are there. If you click join, don't you join automatically?
You definitely join automatically, but I think the Dog is the one doing that. But I don't know whether you join yourself. That's what I'm confused here too.
Because I've opened, I see rooms, and I see number
When
of
you
people
see
in the
rooms,
room.
you see the rooms. Yes, some room 11 like this, room 11 and 12 has 0. I think room 11 has nobody has joined. So I think she's putting everybody in the room based on your topic that you choose.
Oh, okay. So we should wait and see. We will be put there automatically.
Yeah, maybe we are also seeing. So when you put your name will appear and then you join. I think so.
And where is even the topic to choose from?
I think based on your topic that you choose, the assignments.
Hello.
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 Yeah. Good afternoon, you all.
Hello, please. Where are the topics for us? Or they're on the platform?
Kindly be patient. Be
I
patient
think
with
so.
me,
So
okay?
let's be patient. Let's be patient. Let's be
Hello.
let's wait. Let's wait.
Hello.
Let's
Please
wait.
be patient.
Yes.
Be patient. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon. This is Tony.
Okay.
Please be
Yes.
patient with me, okay? Be patient. Doc has not sent the research topics to me. Probably she has messaged. So I've sent her a message to send it to me so that I can forward it to you guys on the chat box. Okay. So please exercise patience.
Okay,
So please,
thank
how
you.
do you join the group?
Please, I am not doing research methods with you. I'm not doing
Okay.
research methods. This is Tony. I'm June cohort. I'm not January cohort.
Okay.
Yes.
Please, I'm using a phone. Where do I find the breakout rooms? Yolanda.
Happen your topic. So before I continue on literature review, I want to hear from the groups. Each group should have one person tell us their topic. Let's do it very quickly so that I can talk about literature before we close. So you mentioned your name, whether you are in procurement, HR, so your specialization, and then your topic. Very quickly. Please unmute yourself and speak up.
Hello, madam.
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay, I'm Ishmael Ado, Group 4, and our topic is assessing the total impact of centralized procurement on NIA's operational efficiency and service delivery at the regional and district offices across Ghana. Thank you.
Okay, next group. Next group.
Good evening, man.
Hello, madam.
My name is
Very
Logan for Group
very
6.
Group 9. Our topic is the effect of foreign exchange rates on Ghanaian local manufacturers between the year 2019 to 2024.
This topic, can't we know by just looking at if it's up, if a foreign exchange rate is up and people are buying in foreign currency, it will be bad for business. So isn't that...
Come again.
I'm saying, what new knowledge will your study bring us?
So within this period, we are looking at the effect the fluctuation had. You see, this period from 2019 to 2024, that was when we had the COVID,
Yeah, but don't we know the effect already? The fluctuations affected businesses.
Yes.
Because a lot of imports. So what new knowledge will your study bring?
But madam, if I want to add up to what Veronica is saying, we are going to look at specifically about Ghanaian local manufacturers. Look at how they were able to survive. So how they were able, the impact it had on them, how they were able to survive. Should that thing happen again? But there's a gap between not the multinationals, 100% hold Ghanaian companies.
I'm not talking about multinationals. I'm talking about local companies because our local companies also buy. They import. So if they are importing, they need foreign currency. And if the city is dancing, it will affect them negatively. So what new knowledge will you bring us?
The new knowledge want to put up at the how are they going to survive? The new knowledge will look at how to overcome should that thing happen again, because we don't know the future.
So did you look at the literature? Did you look at anybody's work to look at, for example, their recommendations for future research so that you have a better, stronger topic?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Please remember that you are carrying the topic till the end of the semester. And so choosing a strong topic at the beginning is always a good idea. If you want to look at coping strategies of local business people, perhaps. But the way you have framed the topic, I don't see any new knowledge that will benefit us. Okay, next group.
Madam, sorry, madam, you were saying something before. Madam, you said something. Your last sentence.
Coping strategies. Next group.
Okay. Hello, madam. Good evening.
Mm-hmm.
Please, my name is Kwame Omwako Edu. Group 13. So our topic is the impact of procurement planning on project performance in public sector and organization in Ghana. The impact of procurement planning on project performance in public sector organizations in Ghana.
Okay. So you're looking at all the organizations in Ghana. Can you do that within the time?
Well, I think when it comes to procurement planning, they all share common planning. So I think
where are you going to collect your data?
okay, so we'll choose one of the sectors and we'll just master on that.
Next group.
Madam, please, my name is Lisa and I'm from Group 3. Our topic is assessing supplier relationship management and its effects on supply chain reliability on government hospitals in Ghana.
Okay. All right. Next group.
My name is Steven, representing Group 15. Our topic is factors influencing the adoption of e-health systems in the Sunyani municipality. Thank you.
Good. That's a very strong topic. Next group. It's very specific to we know where the study will happen. So there's not ambiguity. I'm not asking you where, how, etc. So that means that the topic is straightforward to the point. There's no confusion. Very good. Next group.
Hello, madam.
Hello.
Good evening.
Yes, good evening.
So, my name is Adam Kojo Ajay from Group 7, and our topic is the effect of financial illiteracy, the effect of financial literacy on equity market participation among middle-income households, a case study on the Ministry of Education.
Why the Ministry of Education?
So we want to know how the education sector, let's say teachers and people who work in the Ministry of Education, the literacy rate on financing. Let's say when it comes to investing in bonds, treasury bills, and others. So we want to know how if teachers.
So why them? Why them? Why not people in health? Why not people in engineering, but people in education? And why them? When you say Ministry of Education, you are trying to tell me that when you say Ministry of Education, you mean teachers, but they are not the same thing. One is a regulator, one is the practitioner.
So yes, please. So I'm trying to say yes. So Ministry of Education, and then let's say GES. GES is under Ministry of Education. So we are not just saying teachers, but also workers, people who work in like the ministry too, part of the research, please.
Please, you need to clarify, okay? Because you are grasping at straws. Your topic should be clear, and I should not have. It shouldn't be a back and forth. Because what happens when your work goes for example, external assessors? You will not be attached to the work to explain. So when we see the topic, it should be self-explanatory without you having to give us any details. Do you understand?
Yes,
So
please.
look at it again, and the justification for people in education. I don't understand why we are not looking at people who are engineers who have the economic purchasing power to invest. So you look for a clearer justification. Go and look in the literature at previous work and look at which groups did they look at and which ones have they left out. Next group.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Alice Odri representing Group 2.
Okay.
And our topic is performance pressure, workplace stress, and employee productivity in Ghana. That is examining the moderating role of perceived organizational support.
Okay, next group.
I'm Steven from Group 12.
Robert, please, I want to find out which method are we using? Is it the quantity or the quantity? Hey,
This is Steven from Group 12. And our topic is assessing the impact of online marketing on the performance of selected SMEs in Ghana.
Group 12, which specialization are you in?
Marketing.
You're a
Digital
marketing student. Okay.
Yes,
All
madam.
right. Next group.
Good evening, madam. My name is Rosita from Group 11.
Okay.
Our topic is factors affecting procurement performance in public organizations, a case study of Ghana Education Service, Ayawaso North Office.
You're looking at procurement
performance in public
and
organization, a case study of Ghana Education Service, Ayawaso North Office.
what is the problem at Ayawaso North for which this study is needed?
Sulo. Hello, Sulo. Can you come in?
Okay, next group.
Hello, madam.
Yes.
My name is Wk2, representing Group 10. So our topic is an assessment of procurement management practices and their effect on operational performance at the Public Utilities Regulatory Commission, Western Regional Office.
So you are going to collect data from the Western Regional Office.
Yes, please.
And like I asked the group before, what is the problem at the regional office for which this study is required?
Yes, we just want to find out how procurement practices affect the regional office.
It's not a strong topic. Next group.
Doc, my name is Daniel Coney, and our topic is assessing the impact of logistics disruptions on service delivery performance of mining support firms in Ghana, a case study of Mensah Ghana Limited.
Okay, next group. Next group.
My name is Logan Ewa.
Madam Group 1, we are looking at limited access.
The topic is human resource practices and their impact on employee development and procurement risk management effectiveness in organizations in Tema.
It's too long and protracted. In the title, we should see two clear variables, the dependent and the independent variable. The independent variable is the causal agent. The dependent is the outcome. We should see clear cause and effect in the topic. We should not see plenty things that confuse us in the title. So please, your title is too convoluted. We cannot clearly see what is affecting what is impacting what. So go ahead and refine it. Next group.
Hello, this is Group 8. I'm Robert. So our topic is assessing the perceived impact of artificial intelligence on human resource management practices in the Ghanaian banking sector, a case study of EcoBank Ghana PLC.
Why have you chosen EcoBank out of all the banks in Ghana?
Okay, so I chose EcoBank because that's where I'm working currently, so I'll be able to get more information on that for my study, please, or for our study.
But what is the requirement based on the problem statement that we did today? The first consideration should be what? There must be a problem.
Yeah.
So it's not based on convenience. There must be a problem. So yes, you work at EcoBank. So think through what problem do we have for which we can do a study to explore solutions. That's a better way of looking at it. Then you backtrack and go into the literature and find out what has been done and what is left to be done.
Okay.
Next group.
Madam, my name is Sam, representing Group 1.
Okay.
Our topic is limited access to credit and low financial literacy in that the financial performance of farmers in the Savannah zone.
You've already biased the whole thing. You have told us everything is limited. So what new thing will you show us?
Oh, we are trying to establish the barriers that those in that particular area face when it comes to access to credit and how it's going to affect or it has been affected their productivity. So basically, we are trying to explore more, to go into deeper to see if indeed there's any relationship between access to credit and also their productivity when it comes to agricultural products.
So let me answer your research question for you. Those farmers in those rural areas don't have financial records. Without financial records, the financial institutions will not allow you to take loans or anything. So they don't have access because they don't have records. They are also one-person enterprises because these are smallholder farmers. So they are the one person doing everything. So they actually don't even have time. Their literacy is low. So they don't have access. So they are not doing well. What new knowledge will you give us? The research topic should not be something that we can answer based on what we know. It should be something that we should require research. What you are telling me, you said they have limited things already. So we know the impact already. So what are you going to bring up that we don't already know?
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Please, can we rephrase it like farm credit access, credit challenges, and productivity in Ghana, empirical evidence from the Northern Savannah ecological zone?
Okay. All right, next group. Next group. All right, so now go to the LMS task 2, week 2, under week 2 task 2, and then put together the mini proposal. The information that you would need, I've taught you most of the things. What I haven't gone through with you in depth is the literature review. The slides on literature review are already on the LMS under week 3, so feel free to download it. In fact, watch the videos I've put there. The videos will help you. Dr. Guy Curtis has done a very thorough video on literature. Literature is a written work that has been done on your topic. It is important that you use your specific objectives as keywords to search for articles. Read the articles. Look for recent articles, read them. Check what they are saying, especially when they talk about recommendations for future research. See whether there are gaps. Now, you cannot come to the research gap by reading just one article. You need to read at least 5 and more. These days you have AI, so a trick I can show you. Download all the articles you want. Feed it 5 at a time into the AI and ask the AI to summarize it for you and to tease out the gaps. And then based on the gaps, you can now have the legs to be firm in what topic, what objectives, and what methods you are going to use for your work. You are 7 in a group. So if each person goes to read 5 articles, that is 35 articles in total. So this is the task. Go and do a serious investigation from the literature. Based on what is in the literature, finalize your topics. When you finalize your topics, then you can work on the research proposal. The deadline for that is March 1st, 2026. When we meet again next week online, I'll go into detail on the literature, how we use literature to do everything from chapter 2 all the way to chapter 5. In fact, we need the literature for writing chapter 1. We use literature in chapter 2. That is the main show for literature. We use the literature to make decisions in chapter 3 and to justify our choices. We use the literature in our analysis and in the discussion. So from chapter 1 to chapter 5, you need the literature, which is why you must know what the dominant thinking is within the area in which you want to write. So this is where I'll bring today's class to an end. Any questions?
Hello, madam.
Yes.
Yes. So this is Eric, group 10. Your comment was our topic is not strong enough. So I'm saying that can we look at maybe Ghana as a whole?
Your problem is not the focus area.
Procurement management practice.
Monsieur, please, what I have said you should go and do, please do it. When you do it, you will see where the problems are with your topic and you will find it. It is not about the geographic scope. Strong topics must be strong even without, the geographic location is just the last bit. So please do what I have asked you to do. If everybody reads 5 articles on the topic, we should be able to come up with
them articles.
Okay.
Any other
thank you.
questions?
Hello, madam.
Gabriella, yes.
Doc, please. You said next week online, but per our timetable, next week it's a face-to-face class.
No, next week, I don't think I can. I'm not in the country. I don't know if I'll be in the country by then. If I'm in the country by then, I'll let you know. But for now, please, it will be online.
Oh, okay. Okay. Thank you.
So please, class reps, on Friday, send me a message asking me whether I've arrived or not. If I haven't arrived, it will be online. Any other question?
Doc, please, as we are going to relook at our topics, if we have any challenge, can we send you a message through your mail so you help us out?
No. It will just be too much. I won't be able to handle that. So I'm giving you guidelines. Use the material I've taught you. Listen to the video I've asked you to go and watch. Use your notes. The way you were deliberating in the groups, that is how you get to where you need to get to. So do what I have asked you to do. Use the material and you should be fine.
Okay, Doc.
Any other question?
Hello, Doc.
Hello,
please.
madam.
The maximum number of people in a group.
7. I already said it's 7.
But you considered our group. You made it.
Should I undo my decision?
No, please.
Okay, next question. Next question.
Doc, good evening.
Good
Group
evening.
7, we presented on Ministry of Education, and then you asked why teachers. The reason being, they have all the education and everything at hand, yet they are not really using it.
Because they don't
as
have
it
the
were.
money. We don't have, teachers are the worst paid in the country. they can't afford to buy stocks because they are barely surviving.
Okay.
So please, what happens to those who join? Because some of us, group 2, we are 8. So please, what do we do? Because I think some of
I
the
gave the
groups were.
instruction at the beginning of the class, please. I beg you. Been a long day. The issues of group and things, please deal with it amongst yourselves. Because I trust that these are master students. They know what to do. So thank you very much. It's 5:03. We started exactly at 1 and we'll close now. Use the material to guide the work that you're doing. Have a good weekend. Bye.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you, Doc. Bye.
Thank you, madam.
Thank you.
You take a screenshot. I think I've seen you at it. Article content, no introduction, no review of the related literature. Come on. Anytime,
Please, Curtis. Curtis. Please, is there any group that had like lesser number? We need somebody to join a group, please.
Group 11, we are just 4. So if someone.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Hello, Rosita.
Yeah, James.
Please check your message.
Yeah, I've seen it. I just did it. So you can also check WhatsApp. I just added you into the group.
You just added me.
Please, I had
Yes, please. Yes,
yes,
I've done
Oh, okay.
that.
4 in the group. Please,
Okay, so
can
that
you tell us?
you inform the Percy and Co.
Yeah, I'll add Percy and Sulu.
Hello.
So we are
Okay.
just 4. We need 3 more people. We are supposed to be 7.
Okay, please. I'll add a colleague to you.
How will she be okay with it? Alice, me, I was
Rosita.
looking at probably joining them. I'm not sure she'll be okay with it.
Pat,
Yes.
Pat, call me.
Okay. Rosita,
Yes, there.
could you please text? I'm sending you my number so that I'll chat to you, or you send me yours. I'll chat to you on WhatsApp, please.
Sure. Please send me your number. I'll text you on WhatsApp.
Rosita, please, I have not seen it all.
Oh, hello, Percy. If you are here, can you see? Maybe
No,
check your
James.
WhatsApp.
James.
Maybe I
This is
had
James.
to be a link because you don't have me in your contacts. So
Yeah.
yeah, so maybe
So you have to
bye.
send me a link.
Okay. So
If
I've
you can
sent.
save my number, then
Yeah, I've saved it
send
and
me.
I've sent you the link. So please check. So if you can also text your number. Put your number here. James, please, have you seen it?
Yes.
Okay.
It ends with 512.
Yes, that's my number.
Okay.
I can't see the other person that we had. I can't see his number. Emmanuel, our group is our group, we are procurement, and if you are cool with it, you can join. We are not.
Rosita, I've sent you the message, so please check.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm checking. Our group is procurement, supply chain, and then logistics. These two. So if you are cool, you can join. We are not up to now.
Okay, so you please send me hi on WhatsApp so I can tell you now.
Emmanuel. Yes. Yes, please. I'm doing that. I've seen the number, so I'm texting you. Please, Emmanuel, if you can hear me. You texted me right now. My number. How do I even? Okay. My number is. Yeah, I can't see your number on
Rosita.
WhatsApp, so I'm. Yeah. Percy, I've added you to the group. I don't know the person, the other person. So if you can add him, the Sulu.
So